Obviously, today the Jets hired Aaron Glenn as their head coach. Aaron Glenn obviously played for the Jets. First, let me ask you about this move. What are your thoughts on the Jets hiring Aaron Glenn from Detroit Lions? Go ahead.
I don't know, man. I don't think he's a head coach. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think he's a head coach. That's just me. But he played there. He played there for Parcells. He's been there through a few other coaches. I can see why they like him there. Who does he hire is number one. Go hire an OC and a DC. Did he learn enough under the MCDC to manage organization? I don't know. It's another one of these crapshoots, man. It's going to be interesting to see him. Is he going to be another AP, defensive-minded guy, one and done? Or is he going to be a guy that's learned enough from MCDC? I would say he has a lot more credibility and experience than an AP had going into a job where he basically was in media and high school coaching, and then he went to Arizona State for a few years, but never really got to learn the NFL ropes under a head coach, even though he played it. This guy's been coaching under somebody and been the assistant head coach, and he understands the day-to-day operations. That's the upper hand he has over a guy like AP. So I would think he has an upper hand in that regard, but head coaching ain't for everybody, man. I'm just telling you. Some guys are supposed to be coordinators. So I want to see what happens. And then you got the Aaron Rodgers factor. There's no way in the world Aaron wants to stay there with another defensive coach, in my opinion, but I could be wrong. Who knows? I've been wrong before. I can see A-Rod bouncing and going back home.
Yeah, and that's my next question. Should the Jets keep Aaron Rodgers now they've hired Aaron Glenn? This is from a source, Harrison Glazer, real Michael K. Quote, there's word out there have been leaks I've heard that Aaron Glenn has made it known that he'd like to keep Aaron Rodgers. Now, with Aaron Glenn being hired and this news, supposedly, any shot the Jets keep him? Do you think they should keep him, or should they just move on?
If I'm Aaron Glenn, I get rid of everybody, everything, get rid of the whole operation because this is your baby. So I want a clean slate. I don't want anything, rumors or otherwise, that Aaron Rodgers is a coach killer or this or that. If there's even a rumor or inclination out there, then Aaron Glenn needs to cut bait and start over. That's just what I would do. I'd want to go in and go out on my terms, not with a lame duck quarterback that basically is more famous for off-the-field antics than he is for on-the-field antics over the last 3 years. So I would say, you know what? Let's cut bait, go young. And they got a pretty decent young guy. Let's see what he could do. Or you go get another quarterback in the draft who I don't think exists. Or you go get Sam Darnold and bring him back to New York where he was drafted. Or you go get somebody like that's out there that's available. Kirk Cousins maybe, but that's another type of deal. But either way, it's somebody new to the program and to the blood life of the Jets. Aaron's been there 2 years. He's basically had a bad go at it. It's time to just say, you know what, chalk it up. We lost this one. Aaron, good luck. Maybe you can finish your career in Frisco for the Niners, go back home, or the Raiders maybe for a year with Tom Brady. Couldn't beat him, join him type of deal. I don't know. I think it's one of those deals, but I would cut bait with him if I'm the new head coach and wanting to do it my way. I'm cutting bait with as much dead weight as I can.
Yeah, well, and we'll stay tuned to see whether they hold on to Aaron Rodgers or whether he ultimately leaves. But going back to Aaron Glenn, I got to ask you. You said you don't think he's head coach material. I got to be honest with you. I mean, do you really think that Detroit's defense was solid enough that he would get head coaching looks because of the defense or because of the team success as a whole? Because I feel at times that defense in Detroit, I mean, I remember a year and a half ago when we were on your show and talking about whether he should be fired because of Detroit's defensive struggles. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he's horrible. He's not – I'm just telling you, I've had many conversations. When he first started, he had a lot of talent and success on offense where it kept defense off the field, 3 and outs because of short fields or what have you. The offense scored so quickly. The defense benefited from that. But you talk about alignment, assignment, and technique, and you're talking about gap sound and marrying up the back row versus the second row and the D-line. And understand everybody out there that maybe not understand, but your D line needs to marry up what your linebackers do, and your let me say it. Let me go the other way. Your linebackers need to do what fits and what the D line does. The D line is the first thing of action. We're going to call a line game. We're going to line them by assignment. We're going to go A, B, C, D, and we're going to have those gaps counted for. Linebackers need to understand whatever gap those D linemen don't have, they have. Now, can we marry that up with the secondary? I saw the Detroit Lions in some instances as being the most unsound defense in football. And that's why a year and a half ago I said, man, DB coaches are not good DCs. I wouldn't have one. I wouldn't hire one ever again. I've been there, done that. DB coaches struggle on marrying up the second half of the third row, the DBs, the safeties, and the corners, marrying that up and matching it up with the linebackers and the D line, because most DBs have no clue about linebacker or D line gap integrity. So they just run quarters match, and they have no fucking idea that there's a B gap shade, and I got to have the whip backer walk out and cover the slot to the boundary, and then I'm in quarters match, and they run two verticals, and my safeties are gone, and now I got B gap wide open, and they just hand the football off. They don't understand that shit, and that's why DB coaches do not make great DCs. Now, he got better because their personnel got better, and their offense was so good, you could be covered up. Look at the Detroit shootouts they've had. Even this year, when they were good and healthy, they still were giving up a lot of points.
Yeah, they were.
So I don't think he's a very good coach. I think he's a good DB coach, and I think he's a good position coach, and I love everything I saw on Hard Knocks and how he interacts with the guys, all that shit. But remember, you can cover up for being a bad coach if you can get guys to run through a wall for you.
Yeah, good point. That's a hell of a point. Man, this is going to be interesting to see how the Jets do Aaron Glenn, whether they keep Aaron Rodgers, what their defense looks like. Interesting hire nonetheless, but shout out to Aaron Glenn and the Jets. You got a new coach, so we'll see.